Ahead of the midterm elections, experts worried we could see lies spread online, like what we saw during the 2020 elections. There were concerns sites like Facebook and Twitter were still unprepared to handle misinformation, but it turns out the spread of false content was limited. Part of this success is due to companies improving their election misinformation policies, including more clearly defining what election content is allowed and what the penalties are for violations. According to the Integrity Institute, a group of former social media data scientists, election misinformation was less prevalent on Facebook and Twitter than misinformation on other topics, like vaccines. Foreign election interference wasn't impactful either. A report from the Stanford Internet Observatory found that Twitter stopped 6 networks with thousands of inauthentic accounts linked to China and Iran looking to amplify extreme views ahead of the midterms. Of the 700,000 tweets examined in these cases, 84% received no likes. Social media analysis firm Graphica Inc. also found that Russian efforts to promote conspiracy theories were largely frictionless and limited to alternative social media websites like Parler or Gab, which have much smaller audiences than mainstream platforms. Still, experts warn that the threat of election misinformation isn't completely gone. It could grow for a few more weeks, especially in places where votes are still being counted.
Mostly, we're seeing a bit of a scramble for the right messaging tack among election deniers. Because candidates like Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania and Tudor Dixon in Michigan have already conceded, that makes it a little more difficult for supporters to push claims of election fraud. So far, the focus appears to be on close races in key states like Arizona and on the continued amplification of election administration issues.
Staffing issues at these social media companies could also hamper efforts to limit misinformation. Meta had its largest ever layoff in company history the day after the midterms. Elon Musk also recently fired about half of Twitter's workforce, including 15% of their trust and safety staff.
He's also fired key executives, but although that's not uncommon when companies are taken over, one among those key executives include the head of trust and policy, people very experienced people such as that, who have managed to keep Twitter on at least something of an even keel over the last few years, and that's concerning.
Tyler Atkinson, NEWSY, Chicago.